Check it out, guys. 1982 Husqvarna 430 WR. This is a frame-off restored piece where no expense was spared. You know, I brought Billy in to shoot the video on it, and he's like, oh, yeah, I know a thing or two about these. And he rode for Team Husky in the off-road days on, well, this exact same generation chassis. That's
Same platform. It's not very good lighting here, but what you can see is it's the same gas tank and the same cycle parts, but it's a 250 XC with a longer swing arm.
So that's Billy B just absolutely attacking some gnarly section in the woods there. What event was that?
That's a National Enduro at Speedsville, New York in 1982. So, you know, I had a AA license back in the day, and
yeah.
I was hitting it pretty hard. So these bikes were the bike of choice for the day. I mean, in New England especially, and all around the country. They were the best build quality. Husqvarna had their act together in these years. This bike shows no signs of any use at all. Look at the foot pegs. I mean, these foot pegs, you know, in a season, these foot pegs would wear right down. And these are in absolutely remarkable shape, as well as the bottom of the frame. The bottom of the frame has no dents or nicks. I mean, it's been beautifully put together. And if it has even been used at all, what are you thinking?
Yeah, guys, this was essentially a no-time bike that was torn down in the frame and restored with no expenses spare, as mentioned. All new everything, all new wheel set. The motor has been completely rebuilt. The tank, we're not sure if this is a restored piece or a new old stock tank. Billy seems to think that it's new old stock. It's perfectly straight with the Husqvarna sticker. The inside is as clean as it is out, and it runs perfectly.
These tanks are just a little bit thicker than tin foil. So if you touch it with your knees, it's going to get a little mark on it. It'll show anywhere here. So this is absolutely beautiful.
It's got the original, sorry to cut you off, Bill, it's got the original Öhlins shocks present, which have been restored. The original Husqvarna forks with the Made in Sweden signature on there. You see around the bike. The frame is absolutely mint, not a dent in the frame rails, and it's also been powder coated.
Did you check the actuation of the foot pegs and stuff? I haven't done this yet, but they're like new. And then the foot brake, this is the sign. Everybody drags the rear brake when they ride in the woods. It's a matter of fact. This thing it doesn't show any signs of wear. It's like as new. So I know these bikes are new because I had one new. and
right.
They don't stay looking this good if they're used a lot. So.
Mechanically, the thing's an absolute 10. I just wanted a mesh in a gear, like clicking third up the driveway. Wheeling on command, as you'd expect from a big bore two-stroke. Plenty of torque, brakes on point. Just an absolute joy to ride. Just in the driveway here, it is a fresh restoration. I didn't want to take it off road and ruin the thing because it hasn't been taken in the dirt yet.
The lights working.
Yeah, the front light's working, so we're ready to go off road and in the pitch black and do some gnarly hair scrambles. The pipe, is that an OEM pipe, Bill? Because it's perfectly straight.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like brand new.
Two halves welded together. Those were couldn't. I mean, there's no marks in it. Nothing.
So we're gonna have a more detailed spec of the restoration. We're gonna put together the full spec in conjunction with the previous owner, because this was kind of a two-man effort. The parts were collected by the previous owner, Tom Lampro. Tom, thanks for hooking it up on the Husqvarna. And he actually bought the bike to us as a basket case, so it was assembled by our guys in-house who are highly trained and sort of specialize with these off-road machines. And the thing's tight. Feels like a brand new bike. We got a big work order on it. Total parts and labor came out to $3,314.93, along with the full detail polish. But complete assembly of the bike, lace and true the front and rear wheels, brand new tires installed front and rear. New handlebars with the handlebars were replaced with the 7/8 Renthal CR high bars, brand new grips, clean and tuned the carburetor, replaced the clutch side cover gasket, replaced the stator side cover gasket, replaced the stator nut, so installed a brand new gold Sunstar chain. Let me see. Yeah, clean the brake hubs and pads to work like new, adjusted the clutch lever, adjusted the front brake cable and all controls. Replaced the chain slider with a new OEM replacement. Changed the transmission oil. Test rode the bike to ensure safety and drivability. Tested proper operation of the clutch transmission. and then replace the fork seals and oil. The Olin shocks were previously rebuilt. Let me see what else we got on here. Big old parts list. This bike's going to be sold on the restoration and assembly notes in our work order in-house here.
This represents a time in Husky's history when they really had to develop this fully developed machine. I mean, based on that platform that started in the 70s, really. So in the early 80s, Husqvarna moved on and sold off to an Italian manufacturer. So this is the end of the real Swedish Husqvarna motorcycles as we know it. So the next to the last year, I think this is an 82. 83 would have been a white painted aluminum tank, and then the next year it would have gone to Italy. So it's really right at the pinnacle of their performance developments. Really cool with Olin shocks and their fantastic long travel forks. You can fly through the woods on one of these things. Even today, by today's standards, this would be a fast motorcycle in the woods.
How would you know, Bill?
Well, I've heard.
Oh, considering we just saw a photo of Billy on one of these floating over the rock beds, probably deep in a 2-hour-long hard enduro on a gnarly day, probably out front too. You sicko.
125-mile enduro, yeah.
Total sicko.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that one checkpoint coming in hot, I would have got first in the class. But unfortunately, I was a little bit over exuberant in that event. But anyways, yeah, that was a 250. This 430 has that massive mid-range grunt. Just dial a power band, leave it in gear, and ride.
That's it. Yeah, big old 2-stroke power. So you were on the 250. You were on the small bike.
It was a little pipier, but the 430 is definitely. All the top guys had these back in the day. The national champions rode these. Kevin Hines, and in fact, one guy from Massachusetts, he went on to become national enduro champion on a bike just like this.
How cool is that?
Yeah, very cool indeed.
So definitely gets the Kaplan America seal of approval. It was assembled by our guys. So 2 thumbs up here. So highest and best use, this thing is like perfectly clean. I mean, I would say tuck it away in the personal collection. Definitely an investment quality classic, but it could be used to ride, I don't know, mid-Ohio, a hare scramble, little woods riding, maybe some vintage days on this WR. Certainly mechanically it's ready for that. But
sure, it would be a shame to waste it mechanically and cosmetically, but if someone wanted to have a rider, I'd be willing to sign up for it. It's just like a brand new motorcycle.
If anyone wants to buy it, we'll discount it heavily if you sponsor Billy Blythe for the Mid-Ohio Hare Scramble this year. How cool that'd be. Get Billy out there, and we'll put the photo side by side of you 30 years ago and then versus today.
For sure.
40 years ago at this point.
That's a long time.
You're getting old, man.
Yeah, right.
Unbelievable.
A little long in the tooth.
Yeah. You still got it though.
That's right. I'm trying to figure out how to ride wheelies on the electric bike, so I guess I still got something.
Ripping the Ron. So anyways, guys, we can ship it anywhere in the States inexpensively. Message your zip code for a shipping quote. You can call the shop to do a pre-application through Freedom Road if you'd like to finance. Work with a phenomenal lender. Or call in if you have any questions on the bike. Any closing remarks, Bill? Pretty much.
I really, frankly, Kenny, I have not seen a better one of these. I haven't. It's not just because it's ours or because it's here in front of me. It's done properly. And anything that's on it that isn't, factory stock and original, it's perfectly reproduced aftermarket. Rear fender, for example.
We have a meeting with sorry to cut you off again, Bill. We have a meeting with the previous owner, Tom Lampro, and we're going to go over the build notes. But if my memory serves me right, because we bought this bike from him about a year ago, I believe he told us that he had north of $10,000 tied up into this bike. And he's working with someone on that motor rebuild and part sourcing, and at that point it was unfinished. And then we bought it from him and then put a substantial investment past that. I mean, there's probably over $14,000 tied up into this restoration right here. And it's no corners cut. I mean, the thing's done right. So.
Excellent.
Thanks for watching, guys. She's going to get tucked back away in the museum until she finds a new home. So good luck bidding. And God bless America and God bless Sweden for making these kick-ass off-road workhorses.